That's right.
Make love to the microphone.
I have a little talent in that.
Well, don't drink so much with a
Man.
Some people really want to make love with a microphone. Jay is one of them. Jay is always like
Jay's a romantic,
You
man.
gotta sanitize this thing after I'm done.
for sure. Principally Jay's microphone.
So I've got history with this good-looking guy in front of me here.
Yes. So GianPierre, what's G stand for? What is your last name? G is
Giusti. Very Italian.
Italian.
Think like orange juice and iced tea.
Giusti.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, my grandfather was Italian, and I have the Italian citizenship as Alagia. You know.
Oh wow, that's
From
awesome,
Takeda.
man. Well, congratulations.
We are the best. We are the best guys. You know.
So one of the thing about my buddy here, Jean-Pierre, is that he is a legacy. Now, most people might not know what that means, but that is somebody that has a lineage in real estate. And Jean-Pierre probably has one of the strongest family lineages here in Fort Lauderdale real estate. And I think this is really an interesting story. I'd love to give us a little backstory about your family, kind of how it's sort of developed into, and really kind of how you reinvented yourself from what they created.
Well, funny enough, you know, I didn't know this until after I was in real estate, but my grandfather in South America was a developer.
Oh,
And my mother, at like 16 years old, was a sales rep for his pre-construction single-family homes.
Insane.
So,
and when you say South America, where in South America?
in Lima, Peru.
In Peru.
Where the ceviche comes from.
Shout out for the Peruvian people
Yeah.
here.
Ceviche and empanadas.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and pisco sour, baby. so a little funny story there is my mother established a luxury presence in real estate in this town.
Yeah.
I saw that from the sidelines and thought that'd be a good career. Got involved. Eventually, my sister got involved. And although we kind of all play a different role, it's like the Holy Trinity, you know? We all back and bounce off each other. So my sister does a lot of pre-construction development. She works with Douglas Elliman, represents some of the biggest brand names in town. She sold the Four Seasons, Celine.
It's big.
Gonna be doing a big project coming up on Las Olas. You know, put it this way, it's gonna have a luxury brand attached to it. Think like the Porsche Tower, Armani. You know,
that's cool.
It's gonna be one of those, but right in our playground.
Okay.
And then my mother, man, what can I say? She's in my perspective, the queen of real estate. You know, I mean,
Love that.
lots in the deals.
Amazing.
And then what can you say from the protege,
the kid.
baby? Come on. I mean, right now, as a matter of fact, last night we were awarded the #1 team in the state by a brand that's not just national but also international.
It's amazing.
So international play.
What's up?
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, #1 in the state.
So, you know, what I think is really dynamically interesting about your kind of your family history is you guys aren't all, even though you call yourself a team, you represent the same last names.
That's right.
But you're all kind of fragmented into different areas of real estate, and in some weird way, competitors.
Yeah. No, not weird. Let's put it out transparency.
I mean, the gloves are off.
But we found ways to work around it. You have
That's
to
what I want to
understand.
know about.
Working with family can be easy or can be challenging, but I think most would agree it's challenging because you grew up in a household where there was one boss, you know?
Yes.
And the older sibling was the second boss, right? But when we're in business, everybody wants to be the boss.
Yeah.
So
I think your sister puts you in place sometimes too, doesn't she?
oh, listen, I grew up around very strong character women.
Yeah.
Very strong.
He's got very powerful women around him. Yeah.
I would like to circle back with a question about this because, you know, when you have this legacy family, you know, you question yourself. Is this the right business I would like to do for myself? You know, do I want to be in the shadow of my parents and stuff? It never happened to you to question if it was the right direction to go in your life?
You know, as far as what the general mass perceives, no, it never was a question. I thought it was a one-up, 1 foot in the door by being able to say I'm part of this family.
Okay.
Because at that time, I would say I'm Maritza's son. You know, now they say that's GianPierre's mom. You know?
And that's strong, because that's a great piggyback to your question, which is you defining your own identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you don't want to live in a shadow, do you?
You don't. Now, I'll tell you this, though. For me, the challenge wasn't in the exterior. It was more in the interior, right? I found out that my talent was brokering, selling, or educating, I guess, if you want to put it in a different word. And I really did this in very different businesses. And I left real estate just to see what else was out there. But I realized it's a passion. It's in my blood. And you feel really at home. I really enjoy doing it. I don't consider it work. So when I came back to it, my mother and sister were working together in 2011. And I created an opportunity where we can all kind of grow. I said, why don't we form a team? And, you know, I'll do what I'm best at, which is hit the ground, do the sales. Gee, you can focus on this. Mom, you can focus on that. My mother had a catalog of relationships she had built over time. So we all kind of brought a value to the table. The challenge was always realizing who brings what and what are they best at. And when we figured that out, we were unstoppable, you know? My sister likes more of an employee relationship, right? She's a single mom at that time and kind of getting her bearings. So for her, having a set schedule, like a pre-construction environment, was amazing. My mother started doing pre-construction. So what I did is I took every relationship from a pre-construction market and turned them into resales and opportunities to meet their friends and their families and build those networks. Now, my mother still sold a little pre-construction, but she's focused mainly in the buildings that she sold before they were existent or tangible, right? When they were
so
still
she went after the past sphere of the relationship that she managed.
Absolutely. I mean,
you took the resale side of that, and G kind of like filled the middle gap, which is like the newer stuff coming.
Correct.
Almost like new relationships.
That's right. And considering that my sister went with a different brokerage, it's still amazing because when she gets all these projects, the people who bring the most buyers to these projects are my mother and I. You know, it's because we get early education, we understand the product, and we're able to pitch it faster. Yeah. Right? Now, with all that said, you know,
there's a story here coming. I see the smile. I see the smile.
Look, I'll tell you this. We found a phenomenal way to work with each other, but I've been able to excel in what I love doing. You know, my mother does what she loves. She lives where she plays. You know, she lives the lifestyle that she sells. Yeah. And so she's in a very great environment, and she sold that building pre-construction. And I do everything from there to the other end of Las Olas, you know? So we focus an inch wide, but we're a mile deep. You know, we go deep in that game. So in that specific market, we feel like we're the strongest.
Do you find your life was like an easy life because of your story?
Question.
And because of your family?
Good question. Because most people, let me, before you answer that, because I'm going to segue that. I'm going to fill that in because most people, because it's a great question. Yes. And most people, even me, would look at you and say, this guy's got it made. He has a mom that was untouchable, and his sister is like off to stardom, and
he is a mama boy.
How can he fail?
You know, that question is like when I see people out and they're like, so what are you doing? Are you doing steroids or something? I'm like, no, I just put in the work for years, and I built myself up.
I like that.
Same with real estate. You have to understand my biggest wall and my biggest accolade or challenge to conquer was working with my mother because she was good, and the people that worked around her, she was very tough with. But with me, I got the toughest love out of all of them because I'm the son. So I'm supposed to be better than all of them, right? Now I'm going to give you a little story that's going to hurt to be so vulnerable.
I like
but this is my brother right here.
That's right. I want real.
Time to open the doors.
I want real.
There was a time where I would say, in this business, if you don't know how to run your cash flow, sometimes the chips are up, sometimes the chips are down, right?
Yes.
And we live in a commission-based world, so if you don't manage your money right, it can run out easy. I was in a tight situation. I was pretty strapped, and the last thing I would ever think of is asking a parent for help, But when I say, I was underground and trying to breathe above water, I was literally, to give you a metaphor, I was holding a straw underwater, breathing like that, right?
Wow. Yes.
So I went to see my mother because I needed $2,000 for a startup, right? And this is very early on. And when I went to see her, she said, "How old are you?" And mind you, it hurt to ask. I'm like, "I'm 29." She goes, "Okay. Well, when I was 40 years old, I got divorced. And I was a single mother with 2 kids, didn't speak English very well. We came from a different country." And she goes, "I was able to build myself up, sell real estate, and get to where I am today. Do you have kids? No. Did you just go through a divorce? No. How's your English? Perfect. So why are you here?"
Wow.
That lesson, and that lessons like these lessons,
that's the moment,
were the best for me. So unlike being in a shadow, it was more about work hard and do it yourself.
Yeah. And that comes back to perspective. We have here, and we discussed a little bit of perspective about this, right? When you put things in perspective and see, oh, now I get it. I have this strength that I can take advantage and focus and get the results. For the Cinco de Mayo, the Battle of the Puebla, we ask our guests to
do you have the same adversity like working with me? Do you have a deep story like that as well? A struggle?
Probably
like
yes.
You to share?
Probably yes.
I got stories about Jay
so
too.
Beautiful with so much hair.
So
that's difficult to be your side.
Let me just tap into what my boy just said, which I think was interesting. A lot of people that have sat there with us today and shared their stories found inspiration from adversity, and I think that's really interesting because I think there's 2 ways that you can be inspired in life, right? The one is through pain and one is through pleasure. Not a lot of people sat here and told us that was a pleasurable moment. Hey, Jay, I got into this deal and I sold a $20 million property my first year, and it was I was like, Jesus, this is easy, right? So I think it's vulnerable that you're sharing that, which I do. I realize that, and I think that is I think that's something that we need to acknowledge, is that a lot of people that do what we do find this passion for what we do through a tough time in life, and
absolutely,
and so it's not easy.
Struggle builds character.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Real estate can be easy when we're in a wave of fun, right? Like post-pandemic market.
Right.
What a wave. I was the biggest surfer on that,
How many new agents are trying to take your business right now and think this is the easiest thing ever?
They might think. It's funny enough, I told this story yesterday, but throughout my life, a lot of my friends and peers saw the way I work, and they're like, I'm going to get my real estate license.
Of course.
I got it made.
Why not?
And I've seen them all. I'm talking a lot of people I knew get the real estate license and then end up, bartending or serving or doing this or that. You can get the real estate license. You can put in the work. We all work differently. And when you don't have a boss or somebody breathing down your shoulder, you are your boss. So if you want to get comfortable, you made a good deal, you made a big commission, we all made the mistake. Hey, listen, my first deal that I made big, I went to Vegas for that weekend. I learned through mistakes, but I enjoyed it, man, and I wouldn't change it if I had to do it over.
GianPierre seems like a guy that I know that, like, when you find success in your life, he knows how to enjoy it.
But have no kids, right?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
You better believe him.
Yes, he's a daddy now. He's a daddy now. Hey, listen, don't let the 3-button fool you right here. This guy knows how to enjoy things.
My question is, probably you're not gonna go to Las Vegas next time you make it.
No, now we're on Europe trips. now we're chasing the climate.
Is there a Disney experience in Vegas yet? I don't know.
No, we're going to Disney. We're going to try to go to Japan. No, but I'll tell you this, man. Becoming a father is the most rewarding experience I've ever had.
True that.
And to top it off, it's a job, but it pays with love, and there's no kind of price for that.
It's a first one? Your
First one.
Okay.
First one. And my buddy here can relate. That's
Yes.
soccer dad. That's how
Yes.
I look up to this guy
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, they make you work harder. They make you more creative. They make you see even a bigger picture.
They make
At
you
least in
become
my
better,
case.
right?
Better.
And chase a
Absolutely.
better life. And,
Absolutely.
that's amazing. Sometimes when I have 2 daughters, and now I'm waiting for a boy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man. And then, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool when you come back home, right? And seeing the look in their eyes. It's something that's inspiring for sure.
I'm gonna tell you. I put them in a Montessori school, right?
Yes. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, man.
My kids grew up in Montessori as well.
Did they?
Yes.
I gotta tell you, he's gonna be a faster, better, smarter, quicker version of me. But I see, I dropped him off. I remember the first day, and I had the cleaning lady come. So I come out of the room having some coffee. The house is all neat. It's quiet. It's what everybody would want. But I was like, man, I don't know. I kind of miss the mess. I miss the screams. I miss the little hands all over the car. And you grow this excitement for it, even when it's the hard time. Like, please go to sleep. Even with that, you're having fun.
So
How many do you want, GianPierre? How many do you want? Yes.
Oh, I'm on Bob Marley status, man. I'll do as many as I can get before I go.
I have the same, 3, probably a 4.
Oh, man,
I wanted out the
man.
4th, right?
Listen, I'm going to tell you something.
It's cool.
My grandma is almost 90 years old, okay?
Yeah.
She never ate a strict diet, never did a certain kind of workout. She's the healthiest, most sound person I know. And what I think is her fountain of youth. And grandkids were 16, and great-grandkids, they're up to 20, I think now, and having so much youth around her, and all of them calling her what I called her when I was a toddler, Mami Charito, Mami. I think that is a real fountain of youth.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
What I love about your story is that you're taking something from history, grandmother foundation, mother foundation, even tapping into your sister who's really your youth. And even your story, which is coming from an immigrant status, and now you're a father, kind of leading a new thing. As dads, the things that you're learning through your life right now, you're going to bestow upon these kids.
Yes.
And that's very powerful.
Absolutely, man. You're a teacher. We are teachers.
It's something that I'm always thinking about is what I need to do for my kids to be proud of me, So that's something that's even about the English level, because I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States 7 years ago and didn't speak English before.
Oh, you're doing very well, man.
I'm
And you got a
trying.
little business?
Yeah.
I'd do anything to have an accent.
Yeah.
I think I'd be that much hotter if I had if I had a little bit of a twang to my voice.
It's something that
But this guy right there.
Oh, I'd be dangerous. I'd be dangerous.
If I was your son, I'd be proud. Immigrant, own your own business, doing a podcast to talk about it. And you got the kids at home.
But that's something that worries me about, So something that I say, oh my gosh, I need to know how to speak English to teach them, So it's something very important for me to, to be someone for them to look up for,
Yeah,
Right.
that's very important.
That's something that's extremely important.
I think you're on the right path, my friend. Just
you,
from
man.
seeing what you're doing here.
GianPierre, so you had a lot of influential people in your life. I'm gonna stump you a little bit. Let's take mom out of the equation.
Let's take them out.
So who in your life would you like to give a shout out to? It could be something that a person you follow. It could be a mentor. Who in your life has really helped you shape who you are outside of the family? Because everybody's going to give you the naysayer, the legacy guy.
Now it's the time to send this love message for someone.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've met through real estate, okay, some people that start out as customers, become friends, but you meet a lot of, at least I'm in a luxury market, I have an opportunity to meet a lot of self-made individuals. And I've met one or two that their conversations have impacted the way I perceive life. And it's because I look at people like this that are happily married, have a great family. I mean, kids that are grown, but very sound, very, very good kids, full-hearted. And they're very successful, but they never look like they're working, They look like they're just living the true experience of life. And I look at all of that and I say, those are goals for me, you know? So I become friends with some of these individuals, and through these relationships, I would say I've made mentors. So think about how lucky we are. We're in a business where you can make a tremendous amount of money. You can make unbelievable friendships. You can learn something new every day. I'm not really working. I'm learning, man. I'm still the student in this, you know? We're just blessed to be in a business to learn. And that's where I would give a lot of the love to
your clients.
Yeah, some of the ones that have helped me see the game
Which is kind of interesting because you know you're in an industry where you really are servicing for them, relying on you.
And
but they're paying you back with the stuff that they do, which is brilliant.
Which is why a long time ago I stopped thinking about what the deal will make me. I started thinking about how can I help them.
Or just finding people that are really cool people to work with.
Right, right. Oh, that's another beauty. We get to be selective in this business.
Right, we don't have to work with everybody.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but I used to hit the night scene up pretty heavily.
No, you?
Yeah.
Come on.
And you know who'd be the guy over there sometimes at the door making his way?
Who?
My man right here.
Yeah, that was a young...
Those are some days.
It was a me with more hair.
With darker hair.
Listen, GianPierre, we really love the fact that you joined us today. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely, man.
Shout out to your family and doing some amazing things over a very long period of time. You have paved the way for a lot of real estate agents to look up to, and we really appreciate you jumping with us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll do this.
Be a guest with us any other time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So a shout out to the Captain Painters. Now, the Captain Painters I have had the pleasure of working with for the last 3 years. And you know, not only what I love about them, not only obviously they do painting, but they also do a lot of interior renovation work as well too. And the unique proposition that the Captain Painters really, I think, that they instill in the client side of the business is that they treat your home. It's a kind of a tagline that they've developed, like a temple. And to me, I think that adds a lot of culture to their personality, because when you get a normal trades person that kind of comes in there, they're there to do the job and not really, in a sense, service the client. And when you talk about interiors, you're talking about customization, you're talking about design. And I really feel very comfortable when I recommend them to a job, because they really come in there and they look at the big picture, not just the job itself.